Oh hey guys, in this video I wanted to talk to you about some interesting buildings in Yekaterinburg, namely some historic buildings. And let me show you some awesome mansions, and we'll start off with this house. It was built in 1896 and it belonged to the family of Agafurovs. Now the Agafurovs were a family of merchants, so they were pretty wealthy.
Я вот засниму немножко. Я про дом хотел снять, но такой кадр красивый. Как зовут собаку?
Боня.
Хорошо.
А что дом снимаете? Что, какой-то телевизор?
Ну нет, я буду рассказывать про интересные дома Екатеринбурга. Это дом Агафуровых.
Я знаю.
А, ну да.
То есть два дома Агафурова.
Да, два дома. А вот между ними какая связь? То есть часть семьи жила...
Не так.
Не так?
Как мне объяснили, я могу быть неправ, что здесь жили хозяева, а здесь жили прислуга.
А, он был не
У меня тоже мысля была в свое время сделать пару, как сказать, сюжетов.
Ага.
Потому что в городе Екатеринбурге, мы приезжие,
Угу.
очень много сохранилось именно таких вот домов, памятников.
Да.
То есть, допустим, мы из Перми, у нас этого такого нету.
Угу.
То есть, а тут интересная история, и как мы делали в свое время в Перми, мы брали экстрасенсов, то есть закрывали им глаза, подводили к дому, говорили, расскажи, что за дом, все остальное. И они очень так, ну я просто на телевидении работал раньше, то есть они очень так рассказывали интересные вещи, потом мы их сравнивали, в принципе, много совпадало.
Угу. Хорошо. Спасибо за дополнение. Еще интересный тест. Как вашего зовут?
Дзюбей.
Отлично.
Это хатика, да? Порода?
Это, нет,
О.
это Сибаину. Хатика это Акитаину. Это
Очень
Сибаину.
милый песик.
Они меньше,
Да.
А он вырастет больше или нет?
Побольше, да.
чуть-чуть
А.
побольше.
Привет.
Маленький еще.
Привет.
Да.
Ну, он любит играть, да.
Ему 3 месяца всего. Ах ты какой.
Ага, очень милый. Привет. Сиди спокойно.
Странная штука какая-то, да?
Ну все, давай, пока.
Пойдем,
До свидания.
пойдем, Дзюба, пошли. До свидания.
Ля-ля-ля.
I love dogs.
You love
Just
dogs.
little dogs.
Oh,
And this is their main mansion. So as you can see, this one was for the servant personnel, and this one was for the owners. Now, what are they famous for? They started a chain of department stores in Yekaterinburg, and they also built a lot of bicycle paths. So remember, the family of Agafurovs. That's interesting. You know, funny story is that they had another mansion outside of the city, and it was a huge wooden house, and this is where my grandparents used to live, back in the day, in a huge mansion, but there were many families, so it was like a huge communal house, plenty of people living together.
Slava, I've just read that it's closed. We can't get inside.
well, that's a shame.
Which one of those 2 houses do you like more? They looks different, but this one for the staff, but it looks like doll's house, and this for owners, but this from wood. It's interesting.
I'd prefer the bigger one.
To welcome you to another wonderful house in Yekaterinburg. This beautiful wooden mansion house belonged to Alexander Lebedev, who was by today's standards a businessman. He owned a fashion workshop, and he built the house in 1886. Now he was also a speaker for the Yekaterinburg City Duma. I've read that they're planning to use this building as a museum in the future. As you can see, for now, it's abandoned. You know, nobody lives there, even though it's a really good piece of historic importance. There's another entrance. Hold on, that's another house, Lana. That's a different house. It says protected by the government. So you don't really want to mess with this building. Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's just me. I'm a blogger. Come back tomorrow. All right. I don't really have much information about this building, but it says that it belonged to somebody by the last name of Panov, and it was built in the 1890s. And you see that all these buildings are standing side by side. So you have the building of the house of Panov, then you have the Agafurov's mansion, right, to your right, and then you got the Lebedev's house right next to it. Oh, I love the beautiful balcony, Lana. Take a look. Just imagine how, on a beautiful morning, he would get his cup of tea and step on the balcony to enjoy, you know, the sunrise. It's good. He's like, hey, I'm a merchant. I got money.
It used to be like neighborhood for rich people.
It looks like it. It looks like it. That was my impression. I actually had no idea about this part of town, so I had to read about it.
Is it downtown now?
Well, it's not. It's yeah, technically it is. It's within walking distance to the very center. It's like 10 minutes of walking. So, you know, today I've learned that it's not cool to be walking outside with no mask. I just got stopped by the cops. You know, they surrounded me like 5 guys, me and Lena. We actually felt we were a little scared, you know, but we said we're just minding our own business. We got some coffee, you know, guys, we're going back home. So they let us go. All right, let's check out some more houses. This beautiful house in front of you, it belonged to the family of the Phillips. Emma Phillips was a German Russian, the widow of Ernest Phillips, her husband, who died just 4 years before the construction of this house began. This couple did not have children, but what they had in common was their dedication. They both knew how to brew beer, and everything was going well, and the business was flourishing until the husband decided to sell fruit water without a license. He didn't pay taxes, so he ended up being under investigation, and this undermined his health, and he died. And if you thought Emma gave up, well, she didn't. She actually took the business to new heights. But her business came to an end during the First World War, when the government introduced a ban on selling alcohol. So let's go take a look at this house. It's red, Lana, but it's okay. Let's go. This sign says, I got no one to play with, so I'm playing with this wall. Lena, do you have someone to play with?
Yes, of course. We're playing together, you, Vika, Grisha, and me.
Okay, because if you didn't, you could play with this wall.
Okay, I just need a ball.
Oh, that's a good approach. I didn't think about a ball.
I would love to try some beer from 19th century.
What are you doing here? It's my house.
So why did you bring me to this modern part of town?
Yeah, it looks modern, but the reason I brought you here is because of that building. See that building in the distance? Right on the corner? Well, it was built by a guy by the last name of Pervushin in 1906. He built this house to make money, to rent it out, okay? So on the ground floor, he was renting it out to some shops, and on the first floor, he had some tenants. And some of his tenants on the ground floor was actually the local treasury. Now, another cool thing about this house is that during the Second World War, when they were announcing, you know, the famous "Attention, attention, Moscow speaking," so this was not coming from Moscow. This was actually coming from Yekaterinburg, from this particular house. And the voice of it was Yuri Levitan who was doing that. It's the famous broadcaster. So they were broadcasting that from the city of Sverdlovsk. That's what Yekaterinburg was called in those days. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and if you enjoyed it, we could do some more houses. And actually, when they open things up, we can do the inside tours, which is going to be exciting. For now, it's impossible, right? So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Give it a thumbs up. Lana, there's the police and you're not wearing a mask.
Oh my god, let's get out of here.
Okay.